then candidate Mahama made promises to the people of Ghana. Economy was a big deal during the campaign. If Labour thinks that the 10%, which is quite low, that's about 18 and change, 18 and some pesos, 18 cedis and some pesos to 19 cedis and some pesos. I remember in the run-up to the election, we had people in the NDC, people who sympathized with the NDC, coming into studios with kenke, cocoa, and all kinds of things, telling us what the prices are. How much is a loaf of bread? How much is kenke? So if Labour believes that the very low 10% that they've been given, we had low increments. Even that one, it was supported with cola. In the peak of COVID and all the challenges we're going in, he has come into government from a 54% inflation rate to some 24, 22% of inflation rate. And he's talking about a crime scene. I think he should get to work and stop giving the people of Ghana and organized labor excuses.
But when before he came into office, when you ask what promise he made, you should deliver the promises. I think the number one promise was to reset the economy.
Oh.
So it means that he took into consideration what was already happening, based on which he gave a promise of "I'm coming to reset."
Well, from what he's saying and the excuses he's giving, it's more of a rewind than a reset.
A rewind?
Yes, it's a rewind, not a reset. From what they're doing, it's more of a rewind, not a reset.
Explain that.
Explain what? They knew what the situation was. They had members in parliament. They claimed they gave us alternative solutions that we didn't.
Come to think of
unless
it,
they
a
didn't
rewind
think,
and a
unless
reset.
They didn't.
A rewind and
you
a reset.
understand a rewind?
No, a rewind and a reset is almost the same thing.
No.
It's almost the same thing. And I said it's almost the same thing.
No, it can't be the same
How
thing.
is it not? Because if you want to reset something, you want to send it back
to
a certain point.
Back to factory settlement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And that's
but
rewind.
But you are rewinding to something that you've seen before. He's going back.
It's the same
He's
going back,
backtracking.
resetting. So whether he's resetting...
He made promises based on the fact that he knew the solutions to the situation that we had, and he was going to kickstart those interventions that he promised. Is that what he's doing? He's lamenting.
No, but he
on
said,
how
okay,
the economy
but
was
he said
but you knew
the economy was
you knew when you were meaning. I mean, that's an unfortunate statement to me, to put it bluntly. He knew what he was coming to face. So now, giving excuses, he should face and fulfill the promises he made to the people of the Republic of Ghana. He should fulfill the social contracts he signed with the people of Ghana. Stop giving excuses.
What were you expecting for him to have done to the salary increment that we're seeing, minimum wage that we're seeing?
What I know basically is you make people better, you don't make them worse. That's why you're only demoted when you commit an infringement, and promoted when you are doing well. The last increment was what? Over 20%. You're bringing it back to 10% and giving excuses. You didn't know when you were promising a better standard of living for the people of Ghana. Does 10% make the standard of living better? Those are the questions we should be asking. They knew what they were going to do. They made promises, just as they told us in 2017. Please fulfill the promises. Ghanaians gave the NDC an overwhelming endorsement based on their promises and the things they said. And I think they should fulfill them and stop giving excuses.
Carella, I see your scripting, but we can still come to you. Wait.
I don't even know where to start with Loratu.
You never know where to start with me. Start from the beginning.
What kind of Bongalas analysis did you just do?
Madam,
Do we eat percentages?
Say what you want to say. What you want to do.
Let me correct you.
Are they going
No,
to eat
it's
percentages?
okay. Let me correct you.
Please make
You
your
are
analysis. We
complaining.
can have a very nice show.
Hold on.
Please.
You are complaining
Mind your choice of words. Please.
Okay, you mute. Don't worry. Annie, she's complaining that they increased the minimum wage by 20-something% to 18.15 Ghana cedis, 80 cedis, 15 pesos in 2024. She's comparing that to an increase to 19.97
in 2025
as a retrogression. It's 18
as
to
a
19.
rewind.
As a rewind. It still means a retrogression. 18 to 19. Do you
really
move
get
forward
your calculation wrong.
from 18 to 19, or do you move backwards when you're counting 18 to 19?
It's based on what percentage are you building your 10% on? If
There
you
are-
hadn't been increased to
Hold
that
on.
level, would you be getting
Hold
the
on.
percentage you're getting?
Which
What
one?
sort of
You
analysis are
increase,
doing?
you increase which one?
There was an increment.
The
raised it to a
20-something
certain level.
percent.
So if
That
you hadn't
brought us
raised
to
it,
18.
Let's
So
say
comparing
it was
18 to
10%.
19.
So do an analysis
Compare,
of
we are
10%
that's
increment
exactly
in
what we are doing.
2024.
That's exactly what we are doing. We are
What
comparing,
percentage
we are
would you have been
comparing,
getting
we
at
are
10%?
we are
Please
comparing
do
your
proper analysis.
18.15.
Don't stop the propaganda.
No.
We are not in
At the end of the
government.
day, at the end of the day, nobody's going to
You
eat
are in
percentages.
government.
You don't go and buy the bread that she
You
was
are in
complaining
government.
about.
Stop talking
And
about.
tell the
stop
bestseller,
talking
I'm
about-
buying bread because I have 10% salary increase. You go and pay with hard-earned currency. You pay
government.
cash, money. The bread you are complaining about and all the other things you spoke about, the cake and everything. As at February 2025, we haven't seen any increment in the price of these products.
Oh,
What we are experiencing is a carry forward from 2024 December. So it was your government
The effect
that
of-
determined.
the effect of the
Hold
public
on,
indicator
hold
from
on,
December, is that what
hold
you're
on,
saying?
hold on. It was your government that determined the price of bread in 2024 December,
Wow.
while you were voted out, and that is why the people of Ghana changed
Wow.
government and brought in the NDC and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Annie, that set some basic principles. Any increment in salary, in wages, is factored on two key principles. The first one being the current cost of living, and secondly, the ability to pay. As at December 2024, our inflation rate stood at between 23.5 to 23.8. Clearly, if we were to give a living wage, it should be within these parameters. But the question is, do we have the ability to pay? There's a government that has been in power for barely 2 months. We are yet to hold our National Economic Forum that is going to look at the broader economy of this country, setting the principles that is going to be factored, amongst other things, into the 2025 budget, which will be read next week or the next 2 weeks by Honorable Atto-Forson. And then after that, we'll set in motion the key parameters that the NDC campaigned on in this 2024 manifesto that brought us into office, into power. Those are the elements that is going to revive this economy. And then, as His Excellency has promised Labour, brighter days will surely come. But Loratu, let us not, because of politics, in fact, petty politicking, try and change basic principles. And secondly, His Excellency mentioned that we're going to have public sector wages rationalization, which is very key to all public sector workers, not just those in a CLOSAC.
To be done by the Independent Emolument
Exactly,
Committee.
because it was our promise that we're going to do away with ex gratia. And we're going to look at pay rationalization from the presidency all the way to the minutest worker on government payroll. And that is what His Excellency re-echoed, which means that, indeed, he's committed to see to it that we have that committee in place to make sure that public sector wages is fair and just to all workers. You have some places where somebody is earning a monthly salary of 80-something thousand. You have another place where somebody with the same experience, same qualification, same level, is earning as little as 3,000 for same number of hours of work. And some people even, their jobs entails more activity than other people. But because of all these discrepancies within public sector space, it kind of demotivates people, it doesn't incentivize them, it makes the whole government payroll system a bit messy. And so His Excellency has committed that he's willing to have the Independent Emolument Committee to sit down and rationalize the entire public sector payroll. So as I said, there are good days ahead. I think that government labor, public sector labor, and indeed all employees within the country understand that what the NDC has inherited, and I'm sure every single day you hear in the news tidbits about what is going on in various agencies and how corruption was the order of the day, including from national service to, everywhere you go. Now, every agency is having to deal with so much debt on its books, and Annie, that alone can demotivate a government. But His Excellency says, despite all that, we can't allow the economy to sink. We just have to take the bull by the horn. Don't play ostrich with your head in the ground and you're behind poking out to fix the problem, because that is what Ghanaians voted the NDC in to do, to reset and to move the economy forward. And resetting is not retrogression. You don't have to rewind and go back to reset. We can halt the decay today, and then the reset can start. And I believe that His Excellency and his team are up to their task, and so far they have proven themselves that they are capable. And the most important part is that they are willing to see to it that it is done.
All right. Larati, you want to make some?
It's interesting that in 2025, where we have a president who's been part of this whole process before, we are talking about salary and having a committee or a task force like they've been doing, setting committees for committees and a task force to be looking at salaries. What informed single spine salary? But in the quest to rush it in 2020, some spines were broken. Mm-hmm. What happened to single spine structure? It was started in 2006, implemented in 2010. Who was in power in 2006 was President Kufuor. Because President Kufuor made that profound statement that we're pretending to be paying people, and we're pretending to work.
But do you remember the criticisms of the coming in of the
single spine even implemented according to the letter that created the single spine? You created some ad hoc thing and then you put it in the system. That is why we are here.
It was started in 2008. There was 2006. You can check with Fair Wages Salary Commission. It was started in 2006. It was implemented in 2010. Right. Mm-hmm. You remember even people in the police service made a lot of noise about it when the implementation started. That was equal pay for equal work in a way to do it. But places like Ghana Health Service had a longer spine than what was being implemented. How did we deal with all those things? But if in 2025, you have a president who was vice president then, when single spine was there, it's now talking about putting together a team to look at emoluments, and we have a problem. Because how can we always leave the systems? That is why were they not the same people that were calling for review of policies and all those things? And you have policies and you think you should move away from them and do other things. And you come and sit here and tell me that you are now going to have an economic forum. Why? You didn't think you were going to win when you were saying all those things, when your members of parliament were saying all kinds of things, when you were pushing all the... Why do you put a manifesto together? 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 Why do you put a manifesto together?
This was published by Joy on the 21st of February 2023. single spine salary structure has totally failed to achieve its objective, Joshua Ansan. It says that the Deputy General Secretary of the Trade Unions Congress, Joshua Ansan, says the single spine salary structure has totally failed to achieve its objective. The single spine salary structure is one of the major components of the single spine pay policy introduced by the government of Ghana, and it got implementation in 2012 to regulate the implementation of public we know. So it goes on to say it was meant to address the pay disparities within the sector. However, following a 2022 Ghana Statistical Service report, it has revealed that the pay gap has rather widened over time. Currently, the highest earner on the single spine salary structure is receiving 81 times what the lowest earner is receiving. Speaking on Joy News, Mr. Joshua Ansan noted that it was time for the policy to be re-looked at comprehensively to ensure that the situation is remedied.
So isn't that the conversation
exactly.
we're supposed to have?
And that is the promise
Isn't that the
in the
conversation we
2024
should have?
manifesto.
Look, listen, Gabby, let's not stop. Let's not do this. We are talking about petty politicking. We are talking about Ghana here.
We are talking about
Why
Ghana.
does a political party put together a manifesto?
So that when
It's
you read,
based
that
on
is
the
what-
information you have, your understanding of what the situation is, and the solutions you come and prefer. So if you are now coming to sit here and tell me that you are going to have a forum after you've read your budget,
No,
what are you talking about?
no,
A forum after the budget.
That's what
or
she
the
said,
budget
unless I
after
didn't
the
No.
hear, unless I didn't hear
No.
it clearly.
no. The National
You are going to
Economic
have a forum.
No. It's before
After
the budget.
you've read your budget.
No. Don't try your
Unless
tricks on
I
me
didn't
this
hear
morning.
it clearly.
You did not hear me clearly. You wanted to hear what you wanted to hear so you can do mistake.
The
That is not
president
what
is
I
giving the
said.
State of the Nation when? On the 27th, right?
State of the Nation on the 27th.
The budget is supposed to be read on what? The 7th or 11th of
Yes.
March.
And in between is the Economic Forum.
So
Well,
in
how-
between,
how ridiculous
so in
can we
between
be?
the national
Like
forum,
seriously,
How
Laura,
ridiculous can we be?
the National Economic Forum, and then the budget. The State of the Nation, the National Economic Forum, then the budget.